Some of the videos are pretty impressive, right? I mean,
They are, yeah. They're better than VO3 for a lot of the physics stuff where VO3 gets it wrong. This tiny model that's way smaller gets it better.
yeah, and way fewer like double limbs and it also seems a little bit like the physics is a lot better.
Yeah.
Welcome to Practical AI, everybody. My name is Jeff. I'm here with Peter Lin. Practical AI is brought to you by Pocket AI. Pocket AI is a tool you can use to edit the weights in your models. With Pocket AI, you can prune over 60% of the weights in your models while increasing accuracy. Peter, we have a main topic that we'll get to on the video, AI video creation side, but first we wanted to talk a little bit about a fail. And the fail comes out of the university system. Tell us a little bit about what's going on with the universities.
Yeah, so there's an article recently about what is happening with using AI to do both the teaching and the grading, and for students to use this to basically do their assignments, right? So the question is like, if everyone's cheating, what's the whole point of going to college?
Yeah, and what was interesting is like, what's the point of going to college? Then you could drill farther. What's the point of even an education at all, right? Um, but the whole point on the on this little article slash YouTube video is that the AI thing has really kind of messed with the whole program, right? It's not just students cheating; it's professors grading papers with AI as well.
Yeah, yeah. The example they state is the professor actually copy pasted the student's essay and asked the AI to grade it, and then they copy the response and use that for the actual grade to the student. The student's like, "Hey, this is this is from AI."
Yeah, so there's no good answer on this. I mean, obviously that we're going to have to like unwind this a lot, and there's a huge push towards the trades, largely because college kids can't find jobs right now, and the trades are super hot. Um, but ultimately, where do you think this goes? Do you have a prediction on what's going to happen with AI as it meets education?
I don't know. I don't have the answer to that. But what I hope is we reevaluate what it means to go to college and what it means to actually get an education. Because I mean, if we go way back to Aristotle days, like going to college was learning how to do critical thinking and problem solving. And we've since moved away from that quite a bit to where now it's about getting a piece of paper.
Yeah, yeah, I would agree. That's seems painfully obvious if we've ever um, put a kid through college these days.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, let's pivot over to our main topic. So we have a little fun from China again, this competitor to VO and some of the other visual um, sort of video making um,
Awesome.
AIs, and that is this WAN 2.2, I think is what it is, right?
Yes. Yeah. So it's another model from China, similar to the high-low one. And this one actually is that. So the nice thing is this one is small enough that you can run on your local laptop. So if you have a MacBook with 128 gigs of memory, you can run this thing on your local laptop.
Now, I was stunned when I saw that they have a model as small as 5 billion parameters.
Yeah. Yes.
So how are they doing this with, tiny models?
Better training and better data sets and just innovating.
And this is
Yep.
this is Transformers, right?
Yeah, it is. Yep. hmm Yeah. I
Okay.
mean, it's pretty amazing that they got a model down to that size to where you can run a 14 billion model on a local laptop. So if you've got a Mac Studio Ultra with 128, or if you get the three, the newest Studio has the M3 Ultra. which has 512 gigs of memory, you could run this thing pretty darn fast on it.
Okay. And then the other thing I liked about this setup or this demo, and we'll put a link to this, is this sort of a work studio that they have, or I don't know what you call this, framework or whatever. But explain a little bit about what's going on here and how this works and how people like you kind of leverage stuff like this.
So this is another open source tool that allows you to bring models in, and then you can basically connect models up visually as if it's a workflow, which means that you don't have to actually write code. You can just say, okay, here's model 1, model 2, model 3. I'm just going to link them up and pass the inputs and outputs. And so this makes it much easier for someone to actually just take open source models, connect them up as like a bunch of different models, as like a mixture of agents, and like do really cool stuff with it.
Okay, and if we were to kind of open up the hood on ChatGPT or Gemini or something, this is kind of what's happening. There's some workflow where there's stuff happening, right? It's going from
Yep.
model to model. It's
Yep.
doing some orchestration. Like I need you to go to this different model because it's a physics question. I need you to go to this model because it's a math specific question or prompt. And then there's RAG stuff that's happening. And then there's probably just some non-AI stuff, just,
Mhm.
whatever, vector databases and whatever. This is kind of what's happening behind the scenes, right?
Basically, yeah. So every online AI service has a workflow where when you type in, hey, find me a car that's between 2012 and 2025 that has four doors, blah, 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 blah. When you hit enter, it's going through a whole workflow before it gets to the answer.
And then just definitionally, what's the difference between this type of workflow and an agent?
The difference between a workflow and agent is an agent can do something on your behalf, i.e., it can run some kind of program. So, for example, when you're doing coding, you say, build me a website and deploy it. There's an agent that will take the code that it generated and run it and test it. And another agent will then take that code and deploy it to whatever service you want it to use.
Okay. So it's LLM plus some
Some
tool
code.
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Good. And back at the WAN2.2, some of the videos are pretty impressive, right? I mean,
They are, yeah. They're better than VO3 for a lot of the physics stuff where VO3 gets it wrong. This tiny model that's way smaller gets it better.
yeah, and way fewer like double limbs, and it also seems a little bit like the physics is a lot
Better,
better.
yeah. Way better. I mean, I've played with VO2, just like simple physics-based kind of generation, and they're terrible. I mean, it's really high res and looks pretty, but when you look at the actual mechanics, it's just completely wrong.
And do you think that this is all based on the quality of the video data that they're training on, or do you think that they are doing stuff to augment the physics and you know?
The data matters, but they're doing something extra. Exactly what I don't know at the moment.
Okay.
But yeah.
The only frustrating thing that I could see out of this is that, I mean, it's a lot of um, processing time for very short videos with even the 14. I think it was the 14 billion parameter, I think was 12, 15 minutes to get a 5 minute video.
Yeah.
Does that sound right?
Yeah, they all generally take 5 to 20 minutes, depending how complex your prompt is.
Okay.
Yep.
I mean, obviously that'll speed up over time, but it makes it like that's a non-starter for me to even play with this tool, right?
Right.
I'll
Yeah,
just,
so you need like a M4 Max with at least 64 gigs of memory or higher, ideally 128. Or if you get the Studio, the N3 Ultra Studio with 512 gigs of memory, that would be an ideal system.
got it. And the WAN is the Chinese system, right?
Yep, 1.2.2 is the Chinese model.
Okay. So the last couple of weeks we've been kind of highlighting a lot of the the Chinese advancements. It seems like they're ahead in a lot of the measurables right now.
Yeah, the funny thing for me is like how is OpenAI going to be able to charge 20K when you can get stuff for free?
Right. Yeah.
Like, why am I going to pay you 20K? No, I don't think so.
Yeah. Well, this is fun to watch, and it's fun to see the video stuff accelerating like it is, because it's going to be just a matter of time before we're going to be able to use this stuff for, you know, tasks like
Yeah.
presentations or watch out
Right?
Hollywood and
PowerPoints? Yeah.
right.
You're like, here's a PowerPoint. Here's a prompt.
Exactly.
It'll be a video.
Yeah. All right, Peter. Good stuff. All right. You can follow us on Spotify too if you're not already. We've got a growing contingent on Spotify that like to just listen. If you have questions, of course, bring them our way. We'd love to answer them for you. And we'll put these videos in the prompt, or sorry, in the discussion box so you can take a look at them there. We will see you next time. Thanks, everybody.